Lightning like Steve McQueen. I'm in the fast lane when the light turns green. And I built tough, I ain't nothing but grit. Cause I made rugged blood, sweat, and spit. Yeah, like a horse I fly. Better push yourself in for a bumpy ride. I like to play hard, but I work harder. And I weather the storm cause I'm built stronger.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. We are live. It is the Freight Coach Morning Show, the top morning show in transportation, coming to you guys every single weekday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines, and most importantly, provide some actual insight into what you can do with all of this information. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. This is the real side of freight, ladies and gentlemen. And I say that before every single show. And what I mean by that is I only speak to transportation professionals on this show, as well as my twice a week long form podcast, because I want to talk to the right individuals who have done what you're looking to do, or who are currently doing what you're trying to achieve. So you can take that information, apply it, utilize it, and see a meaningful difference in your business and your life. What is up? Tracy St. Clair, good morning to you over on YouTube. Corey Buchan, happy Thirsty Thursday, all out here. He's on YouTube as well. And dude, I am kind of thirsty this morning. I'm gonna be honest. I am kind of thirsty. We've been running around this morning. I got a lot of great things coming up. I feel the momentum, ladies and gentlemen. It's building. It's building a lot, and a lot of it is just obviously due to the work that we're putting in out there. And so we're not going to have a Q&A show this week. I actually have a guest coming on tomorrow, and he's one of my favorite follows on social media, especially on LinkedIn. Just a lot of the information that he puts out there. Again, I like talking to people with different viewpoints and different assessments on what's going on in the market and everything else, because I think it helps everybody formulate a better opinion, or find the best opinion or best strategy to move forward in their business. And, I wanted to bring up and kind of sprinkle in a little Q&A stuff here on today's show. We got a couple of articles that we're going to break down, obviously all on the market, but I see stuff all the time out there on social media, and I try my best not to react or not to comment on a lot of stuff that I think is just fucking utterly ridiculous. I do my best to not engage on a lot of that stuff. And, I see a lot of posts out there about people talking about the market and people talking about sales strategies and how cold calling's dead, or I don't ever prospect, but somehow I have a massive book of business, and all of this stuff that's out there. And frankly, I honestly think like 98% of the stuff that people post is all lies anyways. But, there's some truth out there to some of the sales strategies and everything that are out there. But again, I want to talk to you guys about what's working for me personally inside of my company. If you're tuning in, I'm not just a pretty face and a sexy voice, although I am both of those. I'm actually out there selling to shippers every single day. I'm prospecting, I'm moving freight. I'm doing all of this as the owner of my brokerage. And here's what I'm going through out there. So for pretty much all of 2023, we were very hands-off in our sales approach. I kind of bought into the whole automation, send emails, cold calling's dead. And, it was the path of least resistance, right? Naturally, when nobody hangs up the phone on you, it does a little bit better for your confidence. And, I had sprinkled in some videos and everything as well. So I had curated some personal videos to all of my prospects. That actually got me blocked faster than anything. But you know what? I got a couple of customers out of doing those videos. And, we had a really good year, all things considered, in our year one. 2023 was our first full year of brokering freight. We kind of started in late 2022, and me and my business partner spent the first couple of months building out our systems. All right. We built the training platform. We got a lot of stuff built out to help us in the foundation of when we start to grow and scale. Year one was great. It was very commendable for somebody who, we had no customers, right? Like we had no existing customers. I didn't transfer a book of business over. All of my customers that I had worked with prior in my career remembered me, but it had been a couple of years. They weren't going to add me in, and rightfully so. So I took kind of the approach that is kind of seemingly out there of, hey, just email this and that. And then late last year, it was like, November, December, and then early this year in January, like we weren't getting fucking anything, right? Like we were moving freight with our existing customers, but we weren't getting anything from a new business perspective. And it was alarming to me because again, you guys, I bootstrap everything, right? If I don't perform, I don't eat. And my why is pretty fucking big because I got a family to feed, just like a lot of you do. So I a couple months back, I just started cold calling people for site visits, right? I'm like, "Hey, I'm in your area. Can I stop by and introduce myself?" And, of course, there's resistance with everything, right? Like some people are, they're not interested, whatever that looks like. But I've been really, really focusing in on cold calls to set up site visits. All right. And these are not in depth presentations. This is just more of a, hey, here's my card. Here I am. I'm shaking your hands. This is our capabilities. Think of us when you need somebody new. And that strategy has, over these last like 7 weeks, has led to us for the first time. We quoted out, I think like 4 or 5 new prospects just yesterday alone on that, right? And I call them prospects because I'm a firm believer that everyone's a prospect until they pay you, right? And I say a lot of that is because it kind of removes a lot of the stress from your shoulders of when you're out there trying to develop business and you get all the rejection because everybody gets rejected 99% of the time, right? Like no matter what, they're lying to you if they say it's any different. And so I always started telling myself, hey, they're a prospect till they pay us. They're a prospect till they pay us. And that helps me with my confidence on when I'm going through and talking to people. But I see stuff out there all the time that I think can be extremely misleading to people who are out there actually trying to build their business. And a lot of the people who are saying this stuff, they have businesses that they might not need to cold call. Well, if you're a freight broker or you're a truck driver and you're trying to build your business, cold calling is always going to be a very vital proponent of business development. Especially if you do not have a tech budget out there where you can leverage technology in certain aspects. But again, I think people try and over automate what they actually try and do. And from my perspective, there is nothing that will ever replace that. All right. So get out there, start shaking hands, try in your local area. I get messages from people all the time that, they don't have money for lead generation software. They don't have money to go fly out and do stuff. And I get it, right? Like I'm fortunate that my P&L can afford me to go and fly to facilities across the nation and stuff. But it took me a long time to get there, right? Like I didn't just snap my fingers and all of a sudden get that done. But for these next 7 weeks, I'm home for the first time all fucking year where I have like an uninterrupted large chunk of time in Phoenix here. And like yesterday, as soon as I was done, like I went out and I visited people on site, right? And all of them bared fruit. All right. Every single one of those visits. And then when I got back yesterday, your boy was feeling pretty fucking confident in his abilities. And I went out and I rocked out some more cold calls and I got 3 more appointments set up next week. Again, these aren't in depth presentations. This is just more of, hey, I'm just coming by to introduce myself. Here's my business card. This is our capabilities. This is what we like to do. And that's the extent of it. So for anybody out there who's struggling to develop business right now, it's your strategy. It's what you're doing and what you're saying. I am a very simplistic approach, right? It's pretty simple. Hey, my name is Chris. I'm the founder of a local freight brokerage. I'd just like to stop by next week and introduce myself, drop off my business card, and potentially speak to the person who's in charge of your shipping there. It's been working. All right. Now, whether that line or that works for you, I don't know if that's going to work for you or not, but I'm just going to always deliver to you guys what I'm actually doing inside of my company and how that is benefiting you all and how you guys can apply this at the end of the day to see a difference out there because this market is massive. All right. There is so much opportunity that's out there. And I just want any of my content and any of the people that I interview on these shows, I want to put information out there that can benefit you guys. All right. Because you know what? Yeah, the market's tough. All right. And that's fine. But that doesn't mean that there aren't people who aren't onboarding new providers. And keep that in mind as your guys are going on out there. All right. Because I'm not doing anything that's proprietary. I'm not doing anything special. I'm just a regular fucking dude who talks shit into a mic. All right. But I'm actually selling in this industry. All right. I'm actually developing a business, and I'm developing and building a business. All right. So take that all into consideration as you're going on out there and you're listening to what some people are saying. They could be a former transportation provider. They could be they might have jumped a bunch of jobs over these last couple of years. And, again, that's very telling about it. So be careful about where you're taking your information from. But rest assured, you guys, the people that I have on my show are actually fucking doing the jobs that they're talking about. And I am an individual who is actually cold calling, actually setting prospect visits and everything every single day. All right. And long story, kind of to wrap this up as we get into some of these articles, you guys, people are actually onboarding new providers. Okay. You just can't rely on old methodology. All right. And when everybody out there is talking about automation, which again, I'm a fan of to a point, but I could never automate that person to person experience. And that's what I want. I want to deliver that to the table. And I'm going to continue to bring these messages out there to each and every one of you. All right. Because if you're struggling in sales right now, if you're struggling to develop new customers and everything else, you guys try something new. All right. And if you have a boss that isn't allowing you to kind of get out and try something new, I'm always looking to talk to people. All right. If you're looking for a job and you wanna try something new, I'm always looking to talk to sales reps. All right. So hit me up if you are serious about it though. All right. I'm not looking to talk to anybody who's potentially thinking, like, if you're serious and you want to go and work for an organization that gives you the resources to go out and do stuff, I'm always looking to talk to qualified people. And if it's not a fit for my organization, I know a ton of people out there who are looking for quality people. So my DMs are always open for messages like that. All right. But with that being said, let's break down some fucking articles here, huh? What are your guys' thoughts on that? First article we are going to break down today is Carla Isted. I'm just kidding. No, her comment just popped up. Good morning, Carla. It's good to see you. First article we're going to break down is from my friends over at the joc.com. Large U.S. truckload carriers cutting more deeply into capacity. This one is written by my friend Bill Cassidy. He's been on the show. I got to get him back on the show here. U.S. truckload carriers aren't waiting for capacity to exit the market. They're parking and selling trucks to bring supply closer in line with demand and shore up pricing. But persistent excess capacity is keeping the truckload market soft and muddy, with pricing struggling to rise above the bottom reached last June. Trucking's long bottom market may stretch further than expected. Big carrier capacity cuts in the first quarter, pulled from the JOC's truckload capacity index, is down to levels last seen in mid 2017. The TCI dropped 2.4% out there. The TCI is a measure of capacity at large publicly owned carriers based on end of quarter truck counts. I love when the data that they're talking about actually tells you where the data set comes from. All right, that's phenomenal. And so at the JOC, their TCI is a measure of capacity at large publicly owned carriers based on end of quarter truck counts. And has fallen over the past 2 years after reaching a high point of 93.2 in the second quarter of 2022. The last time it was below 80 was in the third quarter of 2017, before the capacity crunch and trucking boom of 2018. Since that peak in 2022, the publicly owned carriers index have cut their collective truck count by 15%. The index drop is the largest since a 26.2% drop in 2007 to 2013. We all know what happened during 2007 through 2010, and that probably is an indicator on why it went out. Rate impact. Now, this is always the one that everyone's concerned about. The contraction in capacity among large truckload carriers is helping those companies better utilize their remaining assets and protect profit margins. And the reduction in truck counts may have helped slow the decline in truckload pricing, according to Dean Croak with DAT. For most of the last year, The contract rate decline was in double digits, up to 12 to 15%, he had said. Now replacement rates are coming in about 2% lower than a year ago. They are approaching parity. We just continue to bounce on the bottom, said David Ray Parker, chairman and CEO of Covenant. And then it was, and let me see here. Covenant was the only company in the JOC's TCI group to increase its truck count by nearly 100 trucks, though it cut 10 trucks from its fleet sequentially. I think the million-dollar question is, when will enough capacity exit to finally tighten the market and push up pricing? The question isn't being asked if enough, let me see here. The question that is not being asked is whether enough capacity will exit to significantly alter that. More than 201,000 interstate trucking companies received operating authority in December, between December of 19 and December of 2022, according to the FMCSA. And then as of April, approximately 35,000 of those have been dropped. That leaves about 165,000 more authorities and carriers on the road than existed in 2019. Not much data is supporting a narrative of capacity exiting, said Jason Miller of Michigan State. And Miller pointed to the number of transportation and warehousing firms, including trucking companies, applying monthly for EINs from the IRS. That monthly number, which topped 40,000 several times in 2021, has been trending down. But at 29,000 in March, it's still about $10,000 more higher than in 2020. And then riding out the down cycle, the thing that we're missing in this cycle is the wild profits many carriers made during the pandemic, said Croak. There are many carriers that were able to pay down debt, and now they can operate at a lower rate per mile. They don't need to leave. And then we have lost contractual volumes because we're not willing to commit to further concessions on what we view as unsustainable contractual rates, said Brad Stewart of Knight Swift. This resulted in more of our capacity being allocated to the spot market, which creates further pressure on revenue per mile utilization in the near term. So what does all of this actually mean out there? And, it's funny that, they had talked about that. I had actually a buddy of mine who owns a trucking company. I was talking to him yesterday, and he had said that he sold some trucks just because he's like, at the end of the day, some of the rates were what they were. And he's like, I just reduced capacity from that perspective. It wasn't any of his newer trucks in his fleet, but it was definitely a couple of them. And he's like, it just made the most sense to remove those trucks from our fleet at the end of the day. Hold on, you guys. I got a customer who just reached out for a quote, and I am going to put together a rate for that right now. One moment, everybody. All right. All right, here. See, you guys, we got to get quick on your response times, all right? Because I am monitoring my emails as I am doing the show. And, just just from a competitive standpoint, I reply within 2 minutes to literally every request. All right. So if you're slacking on that shit, that's where your boy's at. So that's where your barometer should be. Because I know I'm not the only one who replies very fast. Matt Fink, my man, says Jason Miller equals must follow. Dean Croak, also an awesome source of truth. Amen to that. Says proof that Jolly walks the walk, but pony up on the guidance, on the quote guidance. Don't go getting all bashful on the rate. I am out here. This is a shipment that we're going to need a truck in hand because it looks like they need to get a truck in there right away. So, from a pricing perspective, you guys, here, you know what? We'll pivot here a little bit on this. That article, you guys, was from the joc.com, large U.S. truckload carriers cutting more deeply into capacity. So truck in hand, right? Like this is one of those situations where it's a lane that we have not run frequently. So we need to find a truck in there that has to be in there that we can pick up today. So with that being said, when I'm out there, we're going to call our carriers in our network that we think can accommodate that, but we're also going to post that load up at the exact same time. This is why I leverage load boards, right? But load boards are a means to an end to me. So when we're out there and we're letting people know that we're working on this load, the very first thing I'm going to tell a carrier is, hey, this is a truck in hand opportunity. I'm going to tell you about this load. I'm going to get your price, and then I'm going to quote based on that. All right. And then I go as far as letting the carrier know that, hey, we're going to remove this posting because if this load is awarded to us, this load is going to you direct. Let me see here. Oh, man. Matt says, new show idea. We'll call it Jolly Shore. Just park a camera on me and watch him work and narrate all day long. Yeah, man. I think people would be pleasantly surprised or actually let down about how fucking boring I am and by how many times I say fuck, because it's like nonstop. Eric Ransom, working never stops. Amen to that. Happy Thursday from the stormy South, he says. But again, you guys, truck in hand quotes, I think, are very important out there because, like, this is one of those newer prospects that I had just developed over these last couple of weeks. So again, communication is key in these moments, and then explaining to the carrier, like, hey, this is a truck in hand option. This is a spot market quote from our customer. This is the rate that we're going to quote based on the rate that you provide us. I'm going to pull my posting down. I'm not shopping you at all, because if we win this load, I'm giving this load to you. All right. And that's just kind of how we develop our business out. Right. And then from a pricing perspective, there's a lot of different data points out there that you can utilize. Right. I personally use green screens for, up there, everything at the end of the day, you guys. And we are out there and we use their pricing to get that truck in hand stuff. And I use them religiously. All right. And again, it's like, but here's the thing, you guys. And when it comes to data out there, that isn't always this is going to take to get it done right away. That's why I always recommend finding a truck in hand to get out there, especially if it's a newer customer. You want to always get somebody who is verified empty, find out exactly when they can pick this load up, and then quote based on that. All right. So the exact verbiage that I'm going to reply to my customer here in a couple of minutes when we get a truck locked in is, hey, we have a 53-foot flatbed that's available right now. He can be there by 1 p.m. this afternoon. He has X size tarps on that load, and this is the rate that he needs on it. Please let us know. That's like verbatim how I reply in those truck in hand moments. All right, you guys. I think we got time for one more article. Next one we're going to break down is from FreightWaves. C.H. Robinson leveraging AI tools to answer email quotes for email requests for quotes. The 3PL has automated quote communication for 2,300 customers. So it's funny that because I saw this article and I was like, oh, that's awesome. I have Dan Hellman on my show all the time with Tabby Connect, and we talk about this. And then with they have an integration with green screens, right? And you can do all of that stuff in there. And then my friends at Tie Software, if you use Tie Software for your TMS, all of that stuff has an API connection between all of those platforms. So it can get some really cool stuff out there. So when you hear AI, when you hear all of this stuff, you guys, it is not overly expensive. It is very affordable to get inside of your business. Anyways, though, back to the article. C.H. Robinson on Tuesday provided details on a tech milestone it touched during the first quarter. It says it now processes over 2,000 customers' quote requests using a sophisticated large language model. This AI technology, trained extensively on vast data sets, enables the company to efficiently recognize and generate text or email responses back to the customer. Before generative AI replying to that email request defied automation. Customers had to wait for a human just to pass along a quote to our dynamic pricing engine. Now our technology reads the email and supplies the quote in an average of 2 minutes and 13 seconds, said Mark Albright, president for AI, in a news release. I'm not an AI bot, and I just replied with a quote within 2 minutes. Just fucking throwing that out there. But anyways, you guys, back to the article. The Eden Prairie headquartered company says it receives 11,000 emails from customers requesting a pricing on the truckload freight out there daily, eliminating the back and forth. Let me see here. The model is equipped to distinguish between varying types of requests, whether truckload, LTL, intermodal, air freight. At present, it can only respond to truckload inquiries, but C.H. Robinson is working on expanding the technology. The good news for our customers is that they still get what they need using the email while our supply chain experts are freed up to do work that is out there. Megan Orth is the senior director of connectivity. Also shared that their strategic vision, we're enabling more customers out there every week to get AI generated replies to their spot quote requests, which we know will be especially valuable when the market turns. When capacity is tighter, route guides fail more often, and it also falls. The freight falls in the spot market, she explained. But that's just one use of this tech. The true beauty of it is it opens up the door to automate virtually any type of email transaction. It can be trained to recognize any type of email as long as we're receiving enough of those emails out there for the model to turn. And then it goes on to talk about C.H. Robinson's out there. All right, hold on, you guys, 1 second here. Customer. So you guys are watching, you're watching your boy work here live on the show. All right. Sorry. Actually, you know what, you guys, again, like I always say, I'm out here actually trying to build a business, and this is just what's required out there. And let's see here. Perfect. Just replying to my customer. All right. There we go. That's how it is, you guys. That was another quote coming through. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. But in regard, because you look at this, it says that $1 billion investment in here and was going into it. I look at it like this: when it comes down to AI, like I talk about often, right? Automation is great to a point. I will never, in my customer and in any of my companies, will have a bot answer the phone ever. But I utilize AI technology in certain aspects of my business because you need to, right? Like at the end of the day, it frees up a lot of your time, what they're talking about there. And again, my tech strategy with a lot of what we're going to be implementing. And again, fortunately with SPI, who my broker just threw, we have all the technology we could ever desire at our disposal at all times. But, if I'm thinking, in other areas of investment, I personally think and I've talked about this on the show, my day, 95% of my day should be automated, frankly, at the end of the day. But that 5% that should never be is carrier and customer conversations. And that will free up all of my time where I can focus on those relationships. And, again, you guys talk to Dan Hellman with Tabby. All right. Talk to Matt Silver at Green Screens, or, really anybody, Kevin, anybody at Green Screens, Dawn. I will put you guys in contact with them if you want to talk to them about that. But again, you guys, it's at your disposal. It's at your fingertips, and it's not overly expensive. It's not as bad as you think. And I think it's completely worth it to do it and get quick responses out there. And especially if this is like contracted full truckload lanes that very, very well, you can train a lot of this stuff to help you in that. So again, I think that it's a good opportunity for people to leverage it inside of their business. And that article was from FreightWaves talking about C.H. Robinson's investment in AI. But that's going to be it for today, you guys. We'll be back tomorrow. I got a guest coming on tomorrow, and I'm really looking forward to it. Also, you guys, I got a newsletter that drops every single Friday. So if you want to register for that, I'm not going to auto sign you up for it. But if you want to register for it, go to thefreightcoach.com. It will prompt you to put your contact information in there and sign up for it. All right. I'm not going to sign you all up for it because I hate when people spam me with stuff that I didn't register for. So that's why I won't do it to you. So if you want to sign up for that, go to thefreightcoach.com. We'll be back tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 10:30 Central, to break down some industry headlines. As always, if you guys got value, subscribe to the show, you guys. Share it out there to your network, because if you saw value, your network's going to see value as well. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and we'll be talking to you soon.